Good afternoon, everyone. Shalini here from Legally Shalini. I just wanted to jump on quickly to have a quick chat to you about your contracts or your obligations to your clients as a result of the impact of coronavirus on businesses. I've spent quite a bit of this week talking to clients about a spike in the requests for refunds and of cancellations for various events and services that clients have had people pay them for, paid deposits, paid in full, and are now requesting a refund or cancelling their engagement as because they're either concerned about coronavirus, or they are responding because of the restrictions imposed by measures taken by the government to restrict or to contain the spread of coronaviruses. And by this I mean travel restrictions, a ban or a restriction on large gatherings, etc. So there's a couple of things that I wanted to talk to you about straight up. Is that one would hope that you have a contract with your client or a service agreement, and that your terms and conditions in relation to refunds and cancellations and termination of the contract is clearly addressed in your service agreement or client contract, and the steps are there as to when refunds are possible, time frames, under what circumstances, and how these refunds will be made. Now, I guess the next question is, well, the coronavirus puts a whole different light, or I'm sorry about the background noise, I'll just use my earphones. The coronavirus puts a whole different, I guess, layer of complication or complexity over contracts that do cover things like clauses such as cancellations and refunds. Yes, they do. There is a complexity involved, but still you must return to your contract to see what it says. So you need to revisit it and see what contract you entered into with your client, if in the case of a request for a cancellation or a refund. Now, it's quite possible that your clause is not drafted, I guess, eloquently enough, or in enough detail, and there's a lot of grey area, or there are a lot of steps that could have been covered and need to be covered. And moving forward, you should look at getting your contract reviewed and updated or addressed insofar as making sure that those clauses are properly drafted for your business. Having said this, though, you should understand that it's really important to know that these are new and difficult times. So people are not really going to know what to do and how to respond, and they will be responding as they know best, or how they, could have found support or knowledge and information. So if you are in a situation where you are being asked for a refund, or someone is seeking to cancel, the best thing to do is to remember, first of all, that we are in business to build relationships. So do not be afraid of the conversation around cancelling or around a request for refund. This does not mean you have to give one. This means that you need to look back to your contract and see what you've agreed to, and quite likely you will need to honour what's in your contract. Moving forward, though, you need to have your contract looked at again. It's not appropriate to put up a new set of terms, around cancelling under coronavirus conditions. That's not something that is going to work. A client is not obligated to take any notice whatsoever of any new terms and conditions, and they are unlikely to if it disadvantages them in some way. So please don't do that. If you have a contract, that is the contract they've signed up for, and that is the contract that will apply. So what do? You stay calm, for one. You be open to conversations. You ask or make sure that your insurances are in place. You also check with your clients, particularly with events, that they have insurances in place. And if they do, be very careful about waiving your cancellation or refund policy, out of the generosity of your heart, because it may in fact jeopardize a claim that they have from their insurers. So unfortunately, none of this can be avoided without talking to your clients and having the conversation around how to move forward or progress. Some contracts will allow money to be put forward towards events in the future. Some will have staggered refunds amounts. Some will have some contracts will have clauses which say that, well, yes, a refund will be given, but after certain expenses have been deducted. So excuse me. Hello, Marla. Hi, Clarissa. Thank you for joining. So that's pretty much it about what I want to say today. The bottom line too is, if you're uncertain, then instead of relying on the hype that is generated in Facebook groups, seek legal advice, talk to your insurers, ask, get advice about what your contract actually obligates you to do if you are uncertain. So I'm going to leave that with you now, and I have a few other groups that I need to jump into at their invitation to answer some of these questions, and I shall be, I guess, back online again later next week. Thank you, and have a great weekend. Bye.